I'd like to call the Monday, December the 11th, 2017 Blue Springs Planning Commission meeting to order. If I could ask you to please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to welcome everyone this evening, and it shouldn't be too long of a meeting. We have the consent agenda is item 1. We have a public hearing on Wyatt Road that's been asked to be continued to Monday, November the 27th. On items 3 and 4, we will hear the planned residential final plan for Eagles Ridge, and the item 4, the final plat for Eagles Ridge. We'll hear those together, and we will vote on them separately. Item 5, we will have the final plat of Hannah's Place, second plat, followed by item 6, which is other business, followed finally by the adjournment. With that, I would entertain a motion for the consent agenda.
Madam Chair?
Yes, sir, Mr. Commissioner.
I move that the minutes from the November 27th Planning Commission be approved as submitted by staff.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, so we have a first and a second, a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Item 2 has been asked to be, the applicant's asked to continue to Monday, November the 27th, the public hearing. What?
January.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, we've already been in November. Well, we can go back. They've been asked to be continued to Monday, January the 8th, Planning Commission meeting. Thank you. Keeping me in check always. The public hearing, the annexation until Monday, January the 8th. I need a motion to continue, if I could.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Commissioner Phillips.
I move we continue this public hearing to January 8th.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Commissioner Haney. All right, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, motion carried. Now we will hear the item 3 and 4 together, Eagles Ridge Planned Residential Plan and the final plat. And I think, Mr. Wright, you're going to present it for staff.
Yep. Thank you, Chairman Banks and Commissioners. Before you this evening are two requests related to Eagles Ridge Estates PRO First Plat, which is the 4th phase of Eagles Ridge. Both the PRO final plan and final plat include approximately 14.52 acres, and it's located north and east of the existing single-family portion of Eagles Ridge. A total of 37 lots are requested to be platted with this property. All single-family lots and 3 open space tracts are included. The proposed final plat and final plan are in substantial compliance with both the approved preliminary plat and the PRO concept plan. All lot sizes and building setbacks meet zoning district and building type standards, with the exception of corner side setbacks, which were reduced from 25 feet to 15 feet through the concept plan. There are 3 open space tracts in this plat. Tract A will be used as detention and open space. Tract B will include the Tract C will include the community swimming pool, and then Tract B will be open space and will include the beginning of a trail system that will be completed in later phases. A financial guarantee has been provided for the landscaping and trail within those common tracts, and those must be installed prior to the approval of the 7th phase. A site plan and proposed building design has been provided for the community pool house. Here's the site plan for that, and then some renderings of the pool. This is they're designing it off of the community swimming pool that's in Parkway Estates East, there by the fire station and water tower, just east of Adamsbury Parkway. Proposed homes will be a mix of 1, 1.5, and 2-story. Minimum floor areas are 1,600 square feet for ranches and 1,800 square feet for all other homes. These restrictions are included on the final plat and must be also included in the declaration of restrictions that will be recorded with the final plat. A street tree plan has also been provided on their final site plan that does meet street tree requirements, 1 tree for every 50 feet of street frontage. In addition to street trees, each lot is required 45 plant units, which must be installed prior to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy for each lot. And same with the sidewalk sections where required, those must also be installed for each lot prior to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy. Final plat and declaration of restrictions must be recorded and returned prior to the issuance of any building permits for this phase. And staff does recommend approval of both the PRO final plan and final plat, subject to the 8 conditions included in the staff report. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Are there any questions by the commissioners for Mr. Wright? Okay. Would the applicant like to come forward?
I'm David Ward with Ward Development. The city pretty well explained everything we're doing there. As soon as we're able to record the plat, we'll be starting the pool and hopefully have it ready by May.
Very good. Are there any questions for the applicant, Mr. Ward?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. With that, I would entertain a motion. We will vote on these separately. Do I entertain a motion for the planned residential final plan?
Madam Chair.
Yes, Mr. Haney.
Motion to approve plan residential final plan PROF 11-17-6115 Eagles Ridge with 8 conditions.
All right. I have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Commissioner Duhan. All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried to approve the planned residential final plan for Eagles Ridge Estates. Now we will vote on the final plat for Eagles Ridge. I would also entertain a motion for that one.
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Haney?
motion to approve final plat PF 11-17-6114 Eagles Ridge Estates with 8 conditions.
Do I hear a second on that one as well?
Second.
Commissioner Duhan? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, the motion's carried, and that will be recommended, passed over to the City Council for December the 18th at 6 p.m. All right? Thank you very much. Now we will go to the final plat for Hannah's Place. Mr. Wright, you'll also do that?
Yep. Thank you, Chairman Banks and Commissioners. Before you this evening is a request for a final plat for Hannah's Place second plat, which includes 9 single-family lots on 0.72 acres, which is located in the downtown area east of Southwest 9th Street between Southwest Jones and Southwest Walnut Streets. The proposed final plat is in substantial compliance with the approved preliminary plat. All lot sizes, widths, and setbacks meet the T3 suburban zoning district in the Downtown Development Code, which is part of the UDC. Maximum exterior setbacks will be reviewed with each building permit. 6-foot sidewalks will be installed along Southwest 9th Street and Southwest Walnut Street. Those will be installed prior to the certificate of occupancy for each one of those lots. Street trees and front yard plantings will be also installed prior to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy for each lot. With the exception of lot 6, all other lots will have driveway access through the interior private access drive that will run at the rear or the side of each lot. That will run through this area here, and will also connect to the existing drive further to the east in the first plat of Hannah's Place. Homeowners Association is required to maintain that private access drive as well as the detention areas. Financial guarantee for all incomplete public improvements has been submitted, and a declaration of covenants running with the land, which will restrict future sales, has also been submitted for approval with the final plat. This will ensure that all public improvements have been completed prior to the development and sale of any of the lots. Minimum floor area for each home is 1,000 square feet, which is consistent with the first plat and the approved preliminary plat. And staff does recommend approval of the final plat subject to the 10 conditions in the staff report. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, are there any questions for Mr. Wright on Hannah's Place?
Madam Chair?
Yes, Commissioner?
Mr. Wright, could you explain to me a little bit about the stormwater retention that's going to be installed in the front of the property?
Yeah, I'll let our Assistant Director, Public Works, speak to that.
It's my understanding they may be making changes to the underground detention, but right now they've been approved to be underground detention, putting in a storm pipe, then releasing it at a controlled rate.
So where, I'm sorry, Chair.
Sir?
So where does that outlet go? You said it goes to down the grade, in the grade somewhere, or?
Yeah, the applicant might be better to speak on that. I think they're making some changes to it and per their plans, but I think it's going to go across Walnut Street and down through the drainage way on the east side of 9th Street.
Okay. Okay, all right. Thank you, Chair, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for Mr. Wright? Okay, would the applicant like to come forward? All right, if you give it, Karen, your name, I would appreciate that.
John Broker with Dwellings by Design.
Okay.
I think everything's answered except for that one. The only thing we're changing is it's all underground behind the homes underneath the alleyway. We were going to come out on the east side through the alleyway and dump out onto Walnut there. We've been able to make it to where we can go on the east side, go under the road, and dump out in the ditch that's already existing, which was what city was really wanting to begin with, but we didn't exactly have the elevations to get that. But they've since made that work, so it's actually going more towards what the city engineering was wanting.
Okay. Did that answer your question, Commissioner Field?
Additionally, how are each of the properties, are they dumping into some kind of pit, or is grade going to dump into that pipe somehow, or how is that?
The way they're positioned underneath the alleyway, there's going to be two 48-inch pipes that are 140 feet each. The alleyway will be concave to where all the water running to it will dump into the grates into those.
Okay, thank you.
And then be released.
Thank you, Chair.
You're welcome. Commissioner Fairbanks, did you have a question?
Well, I was just curious. I guess I don't understand why this would need to be maintained by the homeowners association as opposed to the city.
The drive?
The drainage way.
Is it the drainage,
It's
or
a
is
private.
It's the private drive?
Well, the stormwater is a privately
Right.
held thing, I guess.
So it's a privately held thing that the homeowners then in the future will be responsible for maintaining?
Correct. And then there's really not any maintenance to it. I mean, it's literally two big tubes that just fill up with water and then released at a slower rate.
Okay, so is there some kind of a device inside those tubes that?
No. I mean, all it is the two big tubes, and it goes down to a smaller tube to release, so it can't release all the water at once. It just slows it down.
Okay, so it'll stand there for a while until it
Yeah.
drains?
Yes.
Okay. And what's the reasoning for having the alley access as opposed to just a driveway out to the streets?
That's what we've been told to label it. I mean, I think it's because of the utilities that are running with it.
Okay.
So it's a utility access as well as a drive.
Okay. Thank you.
Are there any other questions for the applicant? Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Broker. Broker, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. If there's no further questions, I would entertain a motion on the final plat for Hannah's Place.
Madam Chair.
Well, now let's see.
I will yield.
Yield. Commissioner Duhan?
I move that we approve case number PF 03-17-5733 with the 10 conditions by the city.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
Second.
I thought maybe you might. All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried. That will also be forwarded to the City Council for December the 18th at 6 p.m. thank you. Now, on the item number 6, we had a meeting scheduled for Wednesday, December the 27th. The commissioners, we have no agenda items.
Madam Chair,
Yes, would you like to make a motion?
I would like to move that we cancel that meeting.
Second.
Okay. Therefore, do I hear we have a first and a second? Hang on, I'm helping with, are you doing Karen's? Okay, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, so our next meeting will be January the 8th. All right, thank you very much. Now, do we have any other business, Mr. Allen?
Yes, just real briefly, Madam Chair. Again, thank you for confirming the December 27th cancellation. As a result, though, we will have a full agenda for January 8th. I do not have all those items in front of me, but we'll have a few items related to the City Hall project, and as well as the villas at the Parkway,
Okay.
which is related to the senior living facility project on the west side of Amherst Parkway, just north of Napoleon and south of Artie Mize. So those are some of the projects that will be coming forward here on January 8th. And from there, that will, of course, be our first meeting in the new year. Prior to that, and hopefully yet this week, we will be getting you our 2017 Missouri State APA Conference write-ups. Commissioner Peel submitted that to me just the other day, so he has his complete. Both Associate Planner Nathan Jury, who is out of the office until Wednesday, and me will have ours then ready after that. So look for those 3 write-ups here later this week via email. Unfortunately, the state APA chapter has not provided any of the PowerPoint presentations from the conference, so we've been unable to, I guess, expand and accentuate our write-ups. But going off of our memory from back in October, we did our best. So look for those write-ups from the conference here later this week. Other than that, hopefully everybody was able to get one of the thank you items at your place tonight. So thanks to Ms. Fendora for getting those just in time for putting on your Christmas tree or wherever else you'd like to place that. I believe this is become a little bit more of a tradition, and some of you have been here a little bit longer than others. Perhaps may already have a full Christmas tree by this point. So we'll see. But anyway, thank you all very much for a great year. Since this is going to be our last meeting of the year, thank you again, and we look forward to a great year in 2018, and we'll be providing the annual report for your review early on in the new year. So as it stands right now, we anticipate a record number of building permits issued, and probably pretty average. We had $66 million in construction valuation last year. We're at $47 million through November right now. So it's very likely we will cross the $50 million threshold again this year. So that'll be I think about the 5 years in a row, roughly, at $50 million or higher. So for Blue Springs, yeah, that's a great number. In terms of number of building permits, we look to exceed 1,100 building permits this year. Now, it's not just residential or commercial, that's all told, but just a little teaser for the annual report coming your way early in 2018. That's all I have. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Well, I would say that on behalf of the commissioners, that we would like to thank you, the city, for all the work that you do all year long and all the hours that you put in between us and the city council. And I think that you would all agree, wouldn't you? So we want to thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All the staff of Blue Springs.
Thank you very much. You make us all look very good as well. So thank you.
You make our job easier too.
Same here. Thank
you. Okay. Is there any other new business? Commissioner Fairbanks?
I wanted to commend you for the developer workshop. I thought it was very well attended, very well informative, and I learned something every time I go to something like that. So good job.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. A lot of hard work by staff, Mr. Wright, Mr. Dora, and others to make that happen. So thank you for attending. And we had a good mix of folks who were attending from different sectors in the development community. And exactly, it was well attended. We look forward to perhaps having that more frequently than just once every other year. So we'll see what we get from the survey. We sent out a survey through SurveyMonkey just last Thursday or Friday. So hopefully we'll have a good response to that. Gives some better direction for our next event.
That's good. Is there any other new business or any other comments for the year? All right. Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn our last meeting of 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Peel? Commissioner Phillips? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, by the way, Happy New Year for next year. Meeting's adjourned.